The year is 2025. The world watches with bated breath as two superpowers, the United States and Russia, teeter on the precipice of a new Cold War. The conflict in Ukraine, a geopolitical earthquake, has shattered the fragile détente that followed the collapse of the Soviet Union. Diplomatic relations, strained to their breaking point, are now a complex tapestry of accusations, secret meetings, and tentative thaws. The ghosts of history loom large. From the Cuban Missile Crisis to the proxy wars in Africa and Asia, the rivalry between the US and Russia has shaped the global landscape for decades. Distrust runs deep, fueled by ideological clashes, military buildups, and a constant jockeying for influence. The collapse of the Soviet Union offered a brief respite, a moment of hope that a new era of cooperation was dawning. However, that hope proved fleeting. Putin's rise to power in Russia ushered in a new era of authoritarianism and a resurgent nationalism, eager to reclaim its lost superpower status. The West, led by the United States, viewed Putin's ambitions with suspicion, seeing in them a threat to the established world order. The annexation of Crimea in 2014 marked a turning point, plunging East-West relations into a deep freeze. In February 2025, Russian President Vladimir Putin made a startling accusation. He claimed that Western elites were actively working to undermine the nascent diplomatic efforts between the US and Russia. These elites, he argued, were threatened by the prospect of a rapprochement between the two powers and were determined to sabotage any chance of dialogue. Putin's words, delivered with his trademark icy demeanor, sent shockwaves through the international community. Were Putin's accusations simply a smokescreen, a way to deflect blame and sow further discord? Or was there a grain of truth to his claims? Some analysts pointed to the deep-seated mistrust that has plagued US-Russia relations for decades, arguing that certain factions within both countries would indeed prefer a state of perpetual antagonism. Others dismissed Putin's words as mere propaganda, designed to appeal to his domestic audience and paint Russia as a victim of Western machinations. The Kremlin, for its part, has remained tight-lipped about the specifics of Putin's claims, refusing to name the alleged saboteurs or provide concrete evidence to support the accusations. This lack of transparency has only fueled speculation and deepened the sense of intrigue surrounding the already murky world of international diplomacy. In the absence of hard proof, Putin's accusations have done little to inspire confidence in the prospects for a genuine thaw in US-Russia relations. Amidst the escalating rhetoric and accusations, a glimmer of hope emerged in the unlikeliest of places, Istanbul. In the heart of this ancient city, where East meets West, American and Russian diplomats have been engaged in a series of secret talks. The meetings, shrouded in secrecy, are seen by some as a sign that both sides are willing to explore avenues for dialogue, even as tensions remain high. The objectives of the Istanbul talks remain unclear. Neither side has publicly disclosed the identities of their representatives or the specific topics under discussion. However, analysts speculate that the agenda likely includes a range of pressing issues, from arms control and nuclear non-proliferation to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and the future of diplomatic relations between the two countries. The very fact that these meetings are taking place at all, however, is seen by some as a positive sign, a testament to the enduring power of diplomacy even in the darkest of times. The Istanbul talks are not without their skeptics. Critics point to the long history of failed attempts at détente between the US and Russia, arguing that the deep-seated mistrust and conflicting interests that have plagued relations for decades are unlikely to be resolved through a few rounds of secret negotiations. Others worry that the lack of transparency surrounding the talks will only fuel suspicion and make it more difficult to build the trust necessary for any lasting agreement. Adding another layer of complexity to the already tangled web of US-Russia relations is the unexpected return of Donald Trump to the White House. The newly inaugurated president, known for his unorthodox approach to foreign policy and his penchant for deal-making, has made no secret of his desire to improve relations with Moscow. Trump has long expressed admiration for Putin, praising his leadership and dismissing concerns about Russia's human rights record and aggressive foreign policy. During his first term in office, Trump's attempts to forge closer ties with Russia were met with fierce opposition from within his own party and from the US intelligence community, which accused Moscow of interfering in the 2016 election. Now, back in the Oval Office, Trump seems determined to pick up where he left off, pursuing a reset with Russia that has many observers both intrigued and alarmed. Trump's efforts to court Putin have been met with a mix of skepticism and cautious optimism. Some see in Trump's overtures a genuine desire to reduce tensions and find common ground with Russia. Others, however, view Trump's actions as naive at best and dangerous at worst, arguing that he is being played by a master manipulator in Putin.